think we're good to go. Are we good to go? What's going on here? How do I close this window? Oh no, what did I do? There we go. I'm back. We are here and things are going to be interesting. No, things are good. I hope you're doing well. And if you don't know who I am, where have you been? My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer and I'm a self proclaimed or admitted traffic geek. That's right. I talk about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff all the time. So much so that I've left the police service and I'm still talking about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff. And I do that so I can help you out. So if you've got questions, well, I'm here to help you with them. And if you ask them, we'll talk about them. Now, I think all the platforms that I want to talk on are actually being represented right now. And if all goes well, the chat is going to be working properly as well. If you've got questions, I should be able to see you in the chat. Let's test it out. If you want to send me a little hello, how you doing? I'll put you on the screen, make sure that it's all working. I've been experimenting with trying to get all the platforms working as best as possible. Like Restream doesn't do integration with chat on Instagram. Ooh, speaking of Instagram, see, this is why I have these discussions with myself. I got to press start on the Instagram so that it actually gets shared on Instagram. So now we're sharing on Instagram too. Hello, Instagram. Unfortunately, Instagram, I have to look at you directly in order to see you. So I'll put you on that screen there. We'll try and keep everybody's questions in there. Oh, audio on X isn't working apparently. Let's see. Let's have a little test. We're going to test audio on X. That's weird though. All right, stand by. We're doing a little test because my wife says it no work. Oh, it's working on X. Maybe your volume's turned down. Maybe your headphones aren't plugged in. But I hear it, so it must be working. At least I'm going to stick with that. If you're new to me, because I used to do this on the Toronto Police Traffic Services channel when I was a police officer. But if you're new to me, then you don't know how this works, and I want to let you know how it works. You ask a question, we talk about it, but we'll talk about other stuff too. That's because this is a show that's just an opportunity to chat, and there's no rules. It's other than be kind to one another. Let's see here. We got tactical. Says, hey, how's it going? Is there an age limit to becoming a cop? There's no specific. Well, it used to be 65. They said 18 to 65. But now you don't have to retire at 65. You can work longer if you want. They've really changed things. Now, will they hire you at 65? It's unlikely. I mean, they shouldn't. It's not ageism. They shouldn't be able to exclude you because of your age. But that said, it's possible that you may not be able to pass all the stuff. But if you pass all the stuff, why wouldn't they hire you? If you're a good candidate, you're a good candidate. Okie dokie. 18 to, I listen, when I went through as a police officer from courts, I was originally hired as a volunteer, as a auxiliary officer, and then I became a court officer, then a court supervisor. And when I patched over to police constable, I was under 40 and there was someone 52 in my class. So that's a thing. If you're watching on TikTok, do me a favor, hit the screen, tap, tap, tap on that screen and see your fingers going on. It helps to send likes, and likes tell other people to come and play with us. And that's what we're looking at. G Banajan says, did you quit being a cop? Sorry, did you quit being a cop? Yeah, effectively I did. I am no longer a police officer. I went early. I retired early because I've got other stuff and things that I need to do, and a family who needs me. And I need a change. Now I'm not stopping what I'm doing. I'm really doing the same thing I did as a police officer. I'm not driving downtown to do it. I'm doing this in the comfort of my basement, so I can still answer your traffic and police questions and be a resource for you. I'm just not being paid to do it. Okay. What am I doing here? I want to add a timer. I had a timer here. Did I erase the timer here? Let's see. Oh, no, I did this. Let's see if I got this working. Hey, that timer needs to be longer because we got an hour. Let's do that. Let's do 55 minutes. Then it doesn't go crazy. Okay, 55 minutes, and then it'll remind me to switch to the next window. And if this works all the way, I think it will, at the end of the timer, it is going to say goodbye. That's what it'll do. Edit countdown at the end. Go to next screen. Yeah, that's what it's going to do. All right, and then we'll move this here. Wasting all this time. Here we go. Cool. I think we're all set. So with the timer on the screen, let's get into stuff and things. If you get questions, we will flag them, and I'll be. I say we, it's me. I'll flag them, and I will make sure that we talk to you about it. At least I do my very best. Let's take that one off the screen. Anna says, "Hey Sean, how you doing tonight? Or how you tonight? I am doing well. Thanks for asking. It's been a long day, and I just had a piece of chocolate, and I don't know if you've ever seen this chocolate, but it's got the chocolate has the caffeine equivalent of a coffee. I was first introduced to them at the corporate offices of TikTok. They gave me one. Now I can't find the same flavor. They gave me a peanut butter one. This is just a regular chocolate that I got at Winners, but it was so good that I said I needed to buy a pack. So when I saw them at Winners, I bought them, and it's intense. That said, I also have a Pepsi here, which also has caffeine, oddly enough. And then I'll probably have some tea or coffee when I'm done this, because I've got to figure out what to watch when this is done. I'm either going to watch Tulsa King, which I got into and I'm now week to week with, or I need to watch an episode of Lioness. Either way, I have stuff and things to do once we are done here. All right. What do we got here? Cold Laker, what's going on? CMC Ray says good evening. And then we've got some people. Oh, Creator Steve. Hey, good to see you, buddy. What's going on with the electric scooters and bikes downtown? What are the rules in regards to operating these on the roadway? Great question. And good to see you, my friend. The answer to the whole e-bike, e-kick scooter thing is there are legal ones and there are illegal ones. E-bikes, there are legal e-bikes for the road, and there are illegal ones. If it goes more than 32 kilometers an hour on a flat surface under power, it's illegal. So if you do 33 kilometers an hour under power, that is an illegal e-bike and now considered a motorcycle requiring license, ownership, and insurance. Of course, you can't buy a license, or you can't license them, and you can't get them insured, so they're just totally prohibited. And if you are talking about, what are we going to talk about? If we're talking about the magical e-kick scooters, well, there's a provincial pilot that allows them to be operated in municipalities that allow them, but that doesn't include the city of Toronto, who didn't opt in, and they didn't opt in because they're related to head injuries and all sorts of not so good stuff. So yeah, not allowed in Toronto, regardless of whether they meet the criteria for legal or not legal in the province. If you're in Mississauga, for instance, they're legal as long as they're not capable of exceeding 24 kilometers an hour on a flat surface, not carrying a seat, and not carrying a, what's the other thing? Oh yeah, cargo. Can't have cargo. Can't have motors on either over 500 watts. The only exemption to that is that if you have a cargo e-bike, it is allowed to have more than one. You can have up to 1,000-watt motor, but you can't exceed the 32 kilometers an hour. It's just to be able to carry that extra weight. Master Technician says, greetings from Peterborough. Hello, how are you? Hope you're doing well, buddy. Okay, let's see here. We got my wife confirming that it works now. That's good. Okay, fantastic. We've got, Tactical is saying, I'm applying to be a CBSA officer as we speak. Awesome. Doing the good work, keeping our borders safe. I don't know anything about that process, so I can't help you there, but it's fantastic that you are joining the ranks, or planning to, at least. Let's see here. What is being said here? Follow up from Creator Steve. Can you see these being licensed to operate in the city of Toronto? If we're talking about the e-kick scooters, they've reviewed it several times and it's been rejected every time. And then in terms of the ones that are legal, I mean, the e-bikes, like faster ones, I don't think they will be. It's pretty cut and dry as to what's legal and not. FM Promotions, what's going on? I meant to follow up with you today. I've been going crazy. But good evening to you too, sir. What do we got here? Mr. Vegend? Is that what I'm reading that right? Marvin, good day to you, or good evening to you. So used to this being a daytime thing. What about a passenger on an e-scooter? Well, e-scooters cannot have passengers. It's one person only. Can't carry passengers, can't carry cargo. So that would make them illegal even in areas where they're otherwise legal. What is this? Liz says Taverner was quite young when he joined TPS MTPS. I think he might have been in his teens. He is now he now has over 50 years under his belt. Yeah, I left after 25 years. 50 years is truly more than I'm willing to donate to public service in a situation where I have to drive 3 hours a day. but power to him. He's loving what he does, and I respect that. Uh, okay, we're going to come back to this. There's a question about bike lanes and what my opinion is. Well, actually, why don't we come back to it? I have mixed emotions about bike lanes. I want to protect cyclists, and I don't want anything to do with bike lanes because they make traffic horrible, and traffic's already horrible in the city of Toronto. So, yeah, for the 6 or 10 people that I see in a bike lane when I go for a drive in downtown Toronto, I don't know how we justify giving up a lane of traffic when we have cars that are backed up everywhere. Maybe they need to fly, maybe flying bicycles. I don't know what the answer is. All right, but I appreciate the question. Let's see what we got in here from other people on TikTok. What is this? We got Ride with Quinn says, Oh, what are the what are the turnouts if police catch you riding an 885cc dirt bike on the sidewalk or road? It's an off-road vehicle. It's got to be licensed and safety for the road, and it has to be insured. If you're caught driving an off-road vehicle on road, expect to be charged for absolutely everything under the sun. It is not a good thing. Yeah, don't do it. The quads can be on the road if you're a licensed driver and you're under certain speed limitations. Depending on the jurisdiction you're in, you can't use them at all in the city of Toronto. But yeah, I mean, but dirt bikes, you're just absolutely riding an unlicensed, unfit bike for the road. Dirt bikes are off-road vehicles. That's where they should stay. Okay, we got Greg Marshall who says, "Good evening, Sean. You do realize there's a Leafs game on. Why are we not responding? Why is the screen not responding? I don't know why, but hopefully I'm not frozen to everybody because I appear to be frozen on this screen. Hmm. I'm scared to press the reload, but it's always great when technology fails. Am I still moving on this one? No, I think I'm frozen. Oh no, I'm still live everywhere else. I'm just not live on my preview. I'm probably going to break this when I reload the screen, but let's see what happens. Is there even a reload button? No, there's no reload button. What is going on here? Although I'm fearful that this will break it, I need to pause, always allow. Okay. What? Where's the reload button? Come on. Okay, it's broken. This stinks. Maybe I need to be using a different browser when I do this. I love it when things go off. Is there a button for reload? No, because the little icon is missing. Yeah, I'm totally going to break this. Hang on a second. I'm back. And hopefully I have not lost everything. No, it seems to be working. Okay. What we got here? Green lights on dash. That's what does green lights mean? I hope you're just trying to tell me, low key to talk about the fact that you're a volunteer firefighter or no one. But here's the deal: green lights on the dash, if they're active, are for volunteer firefighters, and they are to tell you as a courtesy that they're on their way to save the day in their own special way, and you should get out of the way because you're holding up traffic. Now, it's not a legal requirement. You don't have to get out of the way. It just means you're a good person if you actually get out of the way so they can go save a life or someone's house. But that's what they mean. Okay. Scrolling back to where I was so I can find out what people are saying. We've got a good evening from Chase and a good evening from Tracy. Good evening to you both. I want to scroll back because there's a whole bunch of stuff. Okay. So what I was trying to highlight, maybe because you had Maple Leafs, that's what caused the browser to get a hiccup. But the question was, do I know there's a Leaf game on it? And I had no idea. I had no idea at all. And if there's a Leafs game, what are you doing here? Okay. I'll switch this around. Maybe it's better if I put this on this screen. I got a lot of screens here. I even have a little screen over there. I'm looking into the screen of myself when I look at the camera. All right. Let's get into Hamilton. Tyler says, hello from Hamilton, Ontario. Hello back. Austin sent me a question mark. Yeah. We've got Brandon. How you doing, Brandon? Who says, hello, Sean, and I hope everyone had a fun, safe day. I hope so too. I hope everyone's had at least a thought process to decide whether or not they're going to put their snow tires on, because there's rumor that it could snow tomorrow. I don't know if that's true. I don't work for the weatherman. I have no special connections there. FM Promotion says, now let's be kind about the Leafs. I got nothing against the Leafs. I just don't watch hockey. I know I'm one of the weirdos who doesn't like sports or doesn't care for sports. But I did catch up. I'm up to date on Yellowstone. That is important, however. Anybody watch any Yellowstone fans? Yeah. Last season, sad stuff. Tristan 2002 says, hello, sir. How's it going tonight? It is going well. No complaints here. The lights are on, the power's working, and we got the stream to come back after I had an oopsie-doo. Let's see here. What was at Austin? Oh, I must have skipped the Austin question because I see an answer from somebody. Or maybe not. Maybe there was no question. How did I miss the question? Anyway, let's see what's going on. I want to not see the increased automobile traffic. Oh, yeah, in terms of winter, maybe they could do seasonal bike lanes, going back to the bike lane question. I wonder if we could convert a bike lane. Like there's a discussion as to how much it's going to cost to undo the bike lanes. I saw that headline in the news. And they say it's like millions of dollars, to which the premier said, no, it can't be that much money. You're talking about moving some concrete blocks over. So why can't can't they have electronic ones? I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. Can't they just have, like, have you seen the barriers? They get a what's it called? A Bobcat with a special attachment on the front, and they drive it down the highway, and it just shifts all of the stuff so they can make one lane go north or southbound. Why can't we do that with a bike lane? Why can't we have bike lanes during the day when no one's getting anywhere, but then fold them up and put them away when it's rush hour, when people actually have to go places that matter? I mean, I'm all about, saving on gas or whatever the reason is to ride a bicycle. But yeah, that's not going to be popular with the cycle people. I think I just pissed off like 9,000 cyclists who said, what do you mean? It's a valid form of transportation. Yeah, not for me. If you have to take an extra hour to get somewhere and then shower once you get there, that is not a mode of transportation that should be used by the average person to get to work. Sorry. Liz just got the snow tires on 3 hours ago. Also got my brakes, lights, and wiper blades checked. Oil change was last week. Awesome. You're hitting it out of the park. People don't take care of their. I'm glad you mentioned windshield wipers, because wipers are like, people put them on and then they don't fix them or replace them until they're broken. Like they fall off and they go, maybe I should fix that. You should check and change your windshield wipers frequently. They do not last forever. Every couple of oil changes, at least, you should at very least be inspecting them. And a good windshield wiper is the difference between seeing and not seeing, and seeing is kind of important when driving a motor vehicle. Just call me crazy, but I think they're important. Okay. I guess Greg Marshall was saying they're not allowed on the road, so it must have been in relation to dirt bikes, I'm guessing. National. Someone calling me a Fed? It was up to me. I don't know. Seth says Tulsa King is so good. I got to admit, a couple of things. One, I bumped into Stallone in New York City, and I say bumped. He's a very tiny guy. I actually bumped into him and almost knocked him over. But that's a long time ago. I was there for the September 11th Memorial years and years ago, and I physically walked into him accidentally while we were crossing the street. But that's great guy, no issues. He didn't attack me. We didn't have bad words. It was just an excuse me, I'm sorry. But I did not like Tulsa King in the first 2 or 3 episodes. I thought it was stupid. I just did not like it. And now I absolutely love it. So if you rejected Tulsa King based on the first couple of episodes, know that it gets a whole lot better. Okay. 519 Aiden says, "Got, I can't stand this guy." I'm assuming you meant God and that you can't stand me. And the solution is swipe, leave, bye-bye. You don't have to be here. For the people who care, they're here. The people who want to ask questions and know stuff, they're here. You don't need to be. Okay. And if you're talking about something else, you're not expressing yourself well. I had no idea what you're talking about. I mean, like, yeah, I don't get it. All right, moving on. Whatever says, is 40 over the limit in a 50 bad, or does it start at 41? 50 over in a 40 over in a 50 is stunt driving. If you're doing 40 over, you're stunt driving. Whether a police officer determines that they're going to give you an extra one, but I could articulate criminal dangerous driving in a 50 zone if you're doing 90. Like it doesn't take rocket science. Don't go that fast. Doesn't matter when the law kicks in. It's silly. And Seth had jumped in on Aiden suggesting he leave before I even got a chance to say it. Okay, now we got Jay. Question: if the speed limit is 110, could you go 120 without being stopped? Here's the deal. It's against the law. Could you be stopped for it? Absolutely. Will you get stopped for it? 10 over when people are doing 20, 30, and 40 over? 10 over is unlikely. It's not legal. Could you be stopped for it? Absolutely. Is it likely? No. You'd probably get away with it. And I'm not a fan of speeding, but if you're going to do 10 over, it's a whole lot better than doing more than 10 over. So, yeah, it's your mileage may vary. You could be charged and you'd still be guilty. Okay. Yes, Greg was on whatever as well, reading regarding the 41. What do we got here? Tracy. Oh, that's why it says former officer. Yes, mind you, they're saying it on Instagram. They may not be able to read that it says former. So just to reintroduce myself, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer. I used to work for the Toronto Police, and I no longer do. I have left for other things. One of those other things is not having to drive downtown every day. Oddly enough, that was taxing. But I am still here to help you out, answer your traffic and police questions when you got them. You can always DM me. You can also check out my website, which is trafficcop.ca. It's really just a link tree to other stuff. But if you got questions, I'm happy to help you out. Okay. We got dialogue amongst people. The beard of knowledge is back. That's from Chase. Oh, by the way, if you got any dad jokes, please share them. I'd love to share them at the end. And we've got 37 minutes left. I would have thought we had less, but no, we're doing okay. Just need a little sip of Diet Pepsi. We'll see how that works. Okay. Oh, God. What's your opinion on the PM making milkshakes? Well, if you saw the video I posted, it may have suggested that I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed that they want to shut down TikTok offices and have 200 Canadian employees out of work because they work for a company that has ties to China. You know who else have ties to China? Chinese people. Do you know how else other businesses that may have, like, it's ridiculous. You're saying it's bad. You want anyway. I don't want. I'm not impressed with his milkshakes, and I'm not impressed with his decisions. But that's just me. Saint Sleeve says the Trudeau milkshake video was fantastic. You are one of many cool cops. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I remember I was working a detail. I was working at a parade, and Trudeau was coming by. The people knew where he was. And people kept coming up, and it was mostly very excited ladies who thought he was attractive. Honestly, I asked them, why do you? Oh, he's a beautiful man. He may have nice hair. Just saying. What's the ticket if you drive a scooter in Toronto? An e-kick scooter? You're looking, two different things. You could be charged for riding a scooter on the street or a sidewalk, which would be $110. You could also be charged for violating a condition of a pilot project in the province of Ontario. So the pilot says you can only use it where we're allowed to use it. And by we're using it in the city of Toronto, that's a violation. I can't remember the dollar amount for it. I don't know if it's $390 or somewhere in that vicinity. It's more than 100. It's less than 1,000. Either way, it's not a good thing. You can also be charged for everything under the sun. Unsafe motor vehicle, because it is a motor vehicle, especially if it's violating the rules. Let's see here. Michael says, greetings. I just noticed the live. You are here, and I appreciate you, Michael. What do we got here? And we've got, what is this? What will the cops do if they catch you? Well, so going back to this, we talked about this earlier, so I'm just repeating myself. But we talked about the dirt bike on the sidewalk. Well, the sidewalk's a whole different way. That's a motor vehicle on the sidewalk. Whole other set of charges I didn't talk about. Guess there is a while left because there was 49 on the gameplay. Yes, we got time. We're not going anywhere. Dunk 11 waves. I would wave back if I had an emoji button. Yukinatuk, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. It's always interesting to see who jumps in from Instagram versus the other channels. So Yukinatuk, who is my friend, who if you Recall the traffic song, which I don't have set up on this board. It is the best song ever. And that was written and performed by Yuki Natuk. You should check out the channel. Everyone should follow Yuki Natuk. Just saying. School zone drivers could get dinged for driving 10 over. I 100%. In a school, I have no patience for anyone who speeds. But if you are speeding in a school zone, in a community safety zone, and you think the 10 over is okay, you got another thing coming. I would stop you for doing anything over. If I caught you doing anything over, I would stop you. Let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. We talked about green lights earlier. And when I was a kid, we rode bikes near the curb shoulder and didn't act like entitled beep, beep, beep. And it worked. I grew up obviously in the same era or a similar era as you. I never worried about a bike lane. I rode where I rode and I rode safely. And cars respected you and they understood that you had to move around to get where you had to go. And it was just a thing that worked. And then suddenly it didn't. And I don't get it. But apparently I'm not woke enough to get a lot of stuff. Okay, motorcycles going to the front at a stoplight. You're talking about lane filtering. It's not legal. Moving up a couple of car lengths when you don't want to be the crush zone for someone who's on their phone. I totally understand and I respect. So if you're a rider and you waddle a couple of car lengths up, I would never have given you a problem. But if you're going straight through traffic to the other side at speed, could be a more or a bigger ticket, because that to me would suddenly become lane splitting versus lane filtering. But if you were just, it all depends. If it was slow and safe, but I see people doing it obnoxiously, where they're just, driving between traffic, stop traffic or slow moving traffic, and it's an issue. Careless driving is a possibility. It could be stunt driving, could be dangerous driving, which is actually criminal. Okay. Would it be worth pursuing an engineering degree even if I end up going RCMP? It's a lot to invest in if you're going to be a police officer and you may not see the fruits of your labor, but you may not like policing and you may want to become an engineer later. Listen, you become an engineer, you get a really cool ring at the end of it. So there is that. Both my uncles are engineers and they're awesome. And neither of them are specifically working as engineers. If they've always sort of done other things, they ended up being in management, but they understand stuff and things. So yes, engineering is a great thing. I would say finish your degree if you're almost all the way through it. But is RCMP where you want to go? Maybe you want to come to Toronto. www.tps.ca/careers. Check out the opportunities with the Toronto Police Service. Not saying that the horsemen are bad. I'm just saying, do you want to live and work where they are, or do you want to be in a city with action? Just saying. I'm a little biased. I like Toronto. Let's see here. Talked about that. Oh, here's a question I actually love. I've always loved this question. I don't know why I love it so much, but I do. What happens if you drive with a G1 alone? I don't do this. It's for a friend. Tell your friend that they are not very smart if they do this. They are uninsured, unlicensed drivers. Yeah, they are going to be charged with the actual wording is G1 drive unaccompanied. Their license is only valid. Their learner's permit's only valid when they're being supervised by a qualified G-class driver who's sitting in the passenger seat. No one else can be in the front seat. And that supervising driver has to be sober, under 0.05 blood alcohol content to qualify. Now, I say this because you're going to get charged for G1 drive unaccompanied. It's a $110 fine. In addition to that, you're going to get a 30-day suspension the first time. You're going to get a 90-day suspension the second time. And on the third time, you get kicked out of the driver's program. You have to start at zero. So if you were 8 months in and you decided you just needed to get a bag of milk, yes, we're in Canada, a bag of milk, you're going to get kicked out and you have to start again. So you're going to have zero time on your license. And tough luck. But the biggest thing is your insurance company, if your vehicle was insured anyway, is going to tell you to take a hike. They are not going to pay you. They might pay the liability damages against the other person who was wrongfully involved in a collision with somebody who should never be driving a motor vehicle on their own. They're probably going to deny. They would deny anything for you, and would be my prediction. What else can I tell you about it? There was something else I was going to make. Oh, if it's your car, you could also be charged for vehicle allowing somebody without a proper license to drive it. If it was somebody else's vehicle, they could be charged. And if the other person didn't knowingly let you do it, then you can be charged for take vehicle without consent or even theft, depending on the situation. So that is not bad. Cole Lakers says, oh, we were live on TikTok. Yes. What else we got? Great. Okay. Confirmations that things are working. We talked about this. Hang on a second. Would it be worth pursuing? Oh, I guess I scrolled back. The question of was it worth? So sorry. The answer was from somebody else. The benefits are not as good as with TPS or the OPP with the RCMP. So I'm 10707 says don't go RCMP. You have somebody saying it other than me, so it must be right. Eric wants to know if I've ever heard. Oh, have you ever heard of Sergeant Kerry Schmidt retired? I suddenly stopped seeing him online. He, I believe, has temporarily moved into the recruiting section for the OPP. I don't believe that he's retired, but he has moved to a different section, so you see less of him on TV. Okay, Hope wants to know what I can say about a 2007 car and the insurance is $800. Chances are there's some issues with your age, driving, or location. Also, insurance is just going up. Car theft and criminality is making the roads a very expensive place for insurance companies. So they're going to have that come down the pocket. They're going to come down into your pocket. Seth says, seen him today, but his content has not been showing up lately. You saw him personally today or you saw his content today? Interesting. Okay. Oh, Greg Marshall has shared with us the score. Now that was from 10-9. So the Leafs were up 1-0 in the second. Let's see here. Yes. I don't think he's done with media. I think he's just taking a break doing something different. Okay. And no, they don't post on TikTok anymore. They haven't posted on the OPV has not posted on TikTok for a very long time. So essentially, a while back when the federal government was told they can't be on TikTok, like you can't have secure devices on TikTok because of a security concern, they all shut down their accounts, and they had just amassed like 100,000 or more followers. So it was really sad to say them leaving because it was great having other police on the platform. Toronto Police, I had come up with a plan as to how to deal with it so it wouldn't be an issue for us. I submitted that plan and it was approved, so we got to stay on the platform. And we did that by using a platform called Restream, and we weren't using connected devices, police devices, to connect to the app. The app is actually banned on Toronto Police phones. So there you go. That's the story. And then I'm doing this on my own, so I can be anywhere. Tracy says, "Go Sens go." Okay. Mark says, "When did right turn on red become an optional stop? So many rolling stops." Mark, that is my single number one most annoying pet peeve of all time, related to driving outside of criminality. I see it all the time, and I see like 6 cars in a row. Now, somebody told me it's based on where someone's from because some places allegedly don't require a stop when making a right turn on a red, which I think is ridiculous. But that's the excuse that people were using in court. Yeah, I don't buy it. So, what's the point of my story? I would charge up the wazoo for running a red light if I saw it in person. And I can tell you that red light cameras do catch them. And according to the automated enforcement team, they have seen situations where the same vehicle going around the block has received 4 tickets in a row for rolling and not stopping. Failed to stop. It is running a red light if you make a right turn without a stop. Thin White Line Interceptor just joined. How you doing, Ryan? Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. Let me scroll back and see if I have not ignored anybody else on the Instagram. Okay. Oh, yes. And just following up. Yes. Like I said, Carrie is not currently doing social media. Okay. Dylan says, I'm running slick tires this winter. Dylan, you are probably going to be crashing a lot and getting tickets because it's not legal. Your vehicle's unsafe if you have slick tires. Slick tires aren't even allowed in the summer. Slicks are not roadworthy. Hey, road cams, who says, hey, Sean. How much time we got? We got 25 minutes. Seth says, gonna rewatch all of Yellowstone before I hit the finale. I don't know if I want to do the whole ride again. I'm not good with reruns. Like I remember too much of it. I need like years and years. Maybe it's been years. I don't know. I'm watching other stuff, all sorts of other stuff. Not that I have that much time to spend watching, but I try and have 1 hour a day to television. Genuine question. Since you're retired, can you still call yourself a cop? I'm a former cop. I don't identify myself as a police officer. The traffic cop is a moniker that, or TikTok traffic cop is a moniker that I've nicknamed. They call me that. On radio, when I appear now, Jerry Ager calls me the TikTok former traffic cop. I'm very explicit about the fact that I am a former police officer. I don't want there to be any confusion. I don't want anyone to believe that I'm a current serving police officer. But I am I a cop? I'll always be a cop. I have a cop mentality. I am a cop at heart. I will always stand up and help a cop out. I'm part of that family. Do I have a certificate that says I'm a police constable? Absolutely, I do. I'm just retired from policing. So, but I don't like I said, I don't identify as a police officer other than the nickname of voiceover cop, which is a username only. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Scrolling past sports discussion and more sports discussion. Lots of stuff here. Sean, what are your thoughts on your buddy Chris Body? What about him? He was a great guy who made a mistake. I knew Chris well. I worked with Chris. He and I used to sit on the Cops for Cancer committee. Very nice man. I don't know what happened, other than I know he left the service after, I think, an impaired driving situation, which is sad. I don't know what was related. Like, I don't know what led to that. He had been. I knew him more closely when he was a staff sergeant. This was well after, and he was an inspector. Okay. Question from 1 + 1 = question mark. A school bus stopped. I am on the coming road, and it's 2 lanes each with an island. Can I pass? Okay. When you say it's an island, is it an island right where the vehicle is, or is it an island that divides the entire highway, the entire roadway? If it's a island where no one can cross the intersection, pedestrians wouldn't be able to go, then that's a one way in each direction road, and then I'd say you'd be able to pass. But I don't think that's what you're describing. It would have to be a divided highway, and that's very specific. So 401 is a divided highway. Sections where there's a grassy knoll in between both sides. But if it's just an island at the intersection, no. So give me more information as to where it is so I can clarify what that is. But if it's most roads in most municipalities, that's not divided. It's undivided. Car drivers have to learn how to drive around big rigs. Pedestrians need to understand big rigs and big trucks. Great information if you go to turf.ca, TIRF.ca. Excuse me. If you go there, just getting over a cold, or still getting over a cold. It's funny how it takes a while. Anyway, turf.ca has great information about basically managing your space, or the space around big trucks. There are so many blind spots, and so many collisions are caused because people just don't understand that they're not the same as the Mini Cooper. They're trucks. They need a lot of room, and you got to give it to them. They can't see you. Whatever says thank you back. Greg Smith. Due to a shortage at the North Pole, Santa requires a person to fill in from time to time. The prerequisite is a large beard. You're in, Shapiro. Hey, I've been Santa before, oddly enough. So yeah, I guess I could do Santa again in a pinch, and I'm always happy to help if Santa calls. Yeah, I've got the padding too. It's amazing how well I fit the role. I just need the big jacket. I may actually need a bigger jacket. I'm a tall Santa. Santa's supposed to be a big elf. I'm a really big elf. Okay. What do we got here? Electric scooters aren't legal in Toronto, but everyone rides one. Respectfully, why is it ignored? It's ignored because there aren't enough police to enforce the laws that need enforcement. We have cops who are busy trying to catch the bad people who are, doing all the big criminal stuff and hurting people and robbing people and carrying guns and beating their spouses. And there's so much crime. And this is still important, but it's so much lower on the scale of what we can focus our resources. I say they can focus their efforts and their resources on. It gets lost in the mix, and it's not okay. It needs enforcement. It needs attention. But where do you want to, where do you take the police officer away from to do it? Now, it would be great if people just followed the rules, but they don't. And they take advantage of the fact that there's not enough officers available to enforce everything. That's why speeding is rampant, because when you can do 140, for the stretch of the 400 until you see a police officer, and even then they only stop one at a time, it's a problem. People are just taking advantage. We need people to do the right thing even when no one's looking. That's what's supposed to happen, right? Do the right thing even when no one's looking. But anyway, uh, yeah. Is smoking a cigarette while driving legal? If you're in your own vehicle, if that is not a work vehicle, and if there's no one under the age of 16 in the vehicle, then it is legal. Cigarettes, not anything else. Now, yeah, because wacky tobacco is not legal when you're driving. That's still impaired driving, and there's other charges that go with it. But uh, if you're driving a workplace vehicle, then the Smoke Free Ontario Act kicks in, and you're not allowed to do that. Sale says, "Did Star Wars Cop stop doing the Q&A?" Star Wars Cop can do them when he can, but he's got so many different other activities. So I know he hasn't been able to do as many as he wanted to, but I'm sure that he will continue to do them. But I'm quite happy to be doing my own thing and doing these on my own. So when he does them, great. And if he's not doing it, I'll still be doing it. So, tune in for him, tune in for me, tune in for whoever makes you happy. It's all good. And Matt says, "Did you read that Ford government is attempting to pass legislation to include parking lots in the HTA?" It kind of sort of already is under certain charges, right? Like stunt driving already covers anywhere. There are charges that are covered under the HTA, and they've always been under the HTA. And then as of 2021, they added the stunt driving, I think. But if they make everything, I think that's good because there's so many charges I'd love to lay or would have loved to have laid, but couldn't because I was on private property. And you shouldn't have like a free pass zone for being, well, violating laws. So, yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that. In many jurisdictions, that's already the case. Matt says, "P.S. Hope you're enjoying retirement." I am really enjoying many aspects of it. I really miss the job. I miss being a cop in many ways. I miss my family and friends that part of the Blue family. I miss seeing my friends every day. Like it was great to see Sergeant Murray Campbell and all the others that you do it for so long. You see them for so long. It's part of it's just like seeing your mother, your brother, your cousin, your kids. Like they're just part of your day. So I miss them a lot, and but not enough to drive downtown every day to see them. I just don't want to do that drive to Toronto because now I'm just on the north end of the city, and it's an hour and a half in traffic, and I'm just not doing that. I'm not getting up at 4 in the morning anymore to go hang out. Oh, excuse me. I just saw that a gift popped in. Charlie, did I say that right? Charlene sent me a gift. Thank you so much. I'm where I'm looking. I can't see that, and I'm not looking over there. So I don't. If you've sent me a gift, I apologize for if I didn't acknowledge you. It's really not necessary. I'm happy to do this without gifts, but it's kind of you to send them. Let's see here. Have you ever crossed the border with a girl on the back of your bike to go to the Galleria Mall? Inquiring minds want to know. I'm gonna say yes. That's possibly happened in the past. That's too funny. Uh, I used to go to Buffalo a lot as a kid. That was the best shopping place ever. Too funny. Um, Galleria Mall memories. All right. I don't know. Just shopping. Lots of shopping. Galleria Mall is an awesome mall, by the way, if you've never been. Avandro says your Brazilian fan is watching again. Good to see you, brother. I need to catch up with you and see how things are going with your career. How's it going? Because Avandro has become an auxiliary constable with Peel Regional Police and has designs on becoming a police constable. So I want to know more about what's going on. Okay. Uh Leandro, how I wait, Leanne, is it Leanne? I can't see. I got a little screen way over there. And we miss you. Which way? You miss me where? I'm right here. No, I miss everybody downtown. It is. It has been too long. And what do we got here? We got if they let me go back to this question. If they changed lanes, are these things not updating anymore? Let's see here. I might have to give this a little bit of a reboot. Stand by for 1 second. create a new window to do that, and sadly, I just rebooted it by going out, and anyway, I oops, but I'm back, and it looks like things have been fixed. Okay, let's see here. I gotta scroll back because I it did not pull those questions, and that's no good. All right, hang on a second. I can look at my phone. Okay, so Charlene's question. Oh, there's so many things here. My bad. Okay. Uh, User 623812 says, "Hey Sean, how did you deal with the negativity and public perception while on the job?" I was doing good things for good people, and I kept my head up, and that's it. I got thick skin, and the negativity wasn't something that I was going to deal with or have ruin my day. Now, here, are we legally obligated to turn far left or far right? That's Charlene's question. Now, if you mean while you're making left or right turn, you have to turn into the appropriate lane based on the lane you're in. So if you're in the curb lane making a right turn, you must end up in the curb lane on the road that you're turning into. That's what a proper turn is. If you're doing something else by turning wide, you're making an improper turn, it's a $110 fine. And I believe there's some points on that. If you're making a left turn from the inside lane or the turning lane, you need to be turning into the leftmost lane when you end up on the other road. If you go wide the other way, again, improper turn. Hope that answers your question. Um, Anish R says, apologies have answered already, but why do you call it Instagram? Great content, by the way. I just like making fun of Instagram. I don't know if I heard Instagram from somewhere else or if I just started making up my own words during the live streams, but I continuously call it Instagram. But thanks you for acknowledging that you catching that. That's cool. I don't even notice I say it anymore. And Greg Marshall 538 was giving that great answer about being in the right lane. Boom, boom, boom. What videos are not? 1 second. Where we got? Greg Connor. Okay, more so driving. I see a lot of YouTube videos, people doing crazy stuff. Let me go back here. If someone borrows your vehicle, is caught on video driving legally, how and who is charged? If someone borrows your vehicle and caught on video, okay. So Connor, if your vehicle is caught on a red light camera, that's an owner responsibility charge. If you're in a speed camera, owner responsibility charge, it means you as the owner is the one who's going to get charged. If a video on YouTube of someone doing some crazy driving comes up and you are not the driver or you were the driver regardless, that would start an investigation unless they could corroborate um, or establish date, time, location, identity of driver, and so on. Then that wouldn't be enough to lay a charge. But here's what people don't realize: police officers make notes, phone friends, start investigations, drive into certain areas, determine where people live, determine patterns of events, follow and do undercover stings, and lots of people get charged based on doing really dangerous, stupid stuff online. It happens all the time. Major charges laid. So people should just not drive like idiots. Trying to scroll back. Did anything come back here? What do we got here? Okay. So Greg's been taking care of the Charlene questions. I appreciate it because I'm trying to catch up to anything else that was missed while I was messing up the chat. 10, almost 11 minutes left. Okay. What do we got here? What was the best moment in my career? So many things that were really good. Uh, what was the best moment? I can't say that. I can't say that there's a specific best moment. I have lots of memorable moments. I have some really terrible moments. Um, the terrible ones I don't delve into very often, but the really good ones, we're just helping people, just doing something because it was like one of my favorite. I was just trying to get through back to the station one day, and I came across a lemonade stand. I have to find the picture, so I stopped and I bought a lemonade at a lemonade stand in Toronto from a bunch of kids, and I was on a police motorcycle, and it was just an awesome, awesome thing, and the kids were so excited, and yeah, it's one of the best moments. Something really simple, really, really simple. Let's see here. Okay, James Crate wants to know if color blindness can disqualify me from joining the police service, and yes, it can. It would prevent you from becoming a police officer. There is a requirement for proper color acuity, which is not to be colorblind. You have to be able to identify red and green and things like that. Makes a big difference if you cannot identify and you give an improper identify or description of something, or you'd be having problems in court. But you can be a court officer. I used to be a court officer. You can still work for the police service. You just cannot take the role of police officer, from my understanding, unless things have changed. Which always, always, always double check with a recruiter. What is this? Billy Willie Style says, I don't drive, but I love that you share your time with us and share your knowledge with my friends. Oh, and you share my knowledge, the knowledge you get with your friends. I'm so happy that you are able to do that, and that you're getting value here. So thank you. Didn't Canada try and ban TikTok? No, they've not banned the app. They've banned or told the offices which exist in Toronto and in Vancouver that they have to close and essentially let 500 or 200 people who work there go. So yeah, it makes no sense, because what are they doing? They're not, there's no meth lab in there. I've been there. I don't know why they're shutting down the offices. Maybe they know something that I don't, but this whole concept of trust us, we know they're bad, doesn't sit well with me. So whatever. Okay. Okay. So Cascade says that the time they banned it on government devices, they did do that. Okay. You're not a cop anymore. I am no longer a police officer. Although the nickname traffic cop or TikTok traffic cop, it's stuck. Jack wants to know anything I can fight. What are we fighting? Jack, tell me what the charge is, because I don't know where in the conversation, but Greg does say talk to a lawyer. So I missed the comment of why you wanted to fight something. But definitely, if you think you are in the right and should not be convicted of such a thing, then you should get some legal counsel. If you want information on what that sort of looks like how to deal with the courts, go to trafficcop.ca. I have a link at the bottom for it's called the defendant's guide to the POA court. And it can really help you out. Just to give you information as to what is expected and what the processes are. It's free online. I just happen to have a link to it. Okay. A Poliz 14 says, investigating a bylaw, guy refused to ID and you don't have an arrest authority. Can you now go to criminal and arrest for obstruct police? Or is it best to use a provincial act that has an arrest authority and then lay additional bylaw tickets? So it depends. You can't go criminal from bylaw just for not identifying. It's like pedestrians who don't want to identify don't have to identify, while cyclists under the HTA and motorists do. So different obligations. So you build your case, you figure it out, but you don't just go to obstruct because they're not cooperating. This is where you got to know stuff and learn stuff and make the law work for you, but not by changing the rules to make it easy. I see unrelated comment made me giggle. Are mirror mounted turn signals only legal for front turn signals on a motorcycle? Here's the issue. Mirror mounted for front turn. How would you have a mirror mounted rear? There's no mirror in the back. But the deal is that you have to be able to differentiate. You have to be able to see left and right signal. If it's all one bubble and you can barely tell what left and right is, then you're not, it's not discernible at a distance. It's just a blinking light in the center. Not enough. Not enough. But I'm trying to figure out where else there'd be mirrors other than the front. But yeah, mirror mounted ones for they're far away. And with our police motorcycles, especially the Harleys, we had mirror ones in addition to fork mounted signals. Have you ever been to Saskatchewan? No, but I was supposed to be in Saskatchewan. I was supposed to be there speaking with the Drop It and Drive program through the Traffic Injury Research Foundation. And unfortunately, there was a funeral I had to attend. And of course, it was a very unexpected situation. So that canceled my trip to Saskatchewan. And I hope to come back and do that again one day, or plan that again, because I've not been there and I'd like to be there. And I had all sorts of plans to meet with the RCMP and local police. There you go. There are turn signals on the rear. Okay. On the rear of the signals? You have to have signals at the back. You can't have a signal on the front to replace the back ones. No, you need front and back signals. Front ones facing forward, rear ones facing rearward. I need to see something different to explore other opportunities and see how they work in terms, because you can't block it with your body. So I need to see. I can't tell you without looking. If you want to send me a link to a product, you can always go to trafficcop.ca, and there's a link to submit an email. Kalena Ferguson says, Sean, I collect patches. How can I get one from Toronto Police Department? Patches are not patches have become very hard to come by. They need special authorization to give someone one now. It's not like it used to be. They're controlled because too many people get the patches and then impersonate police officers, even though I'm sure that's not the case for you. Kevin James says, lane filtering. Not legal. Not legal. Not specifically illegal, but the activity can be described as careless driving, stunt driving, or criminal dangerous driving. Undead Neon, haven't seen you in a long time. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while, but I'm glad you're around. Hope things are well. How's your neon? Undead Neon, by the way, has a neon that is completely souped up. What is this? The police here they don't have. What is this? Impreza says the police here they don't have a great reputation among the population, to say the least. Where is here, though? Are you in Canada? Are you somewhere else? Because I think Canadian police have a tremendous amount of respect of the people. And if you're somewhere else and you said that earlier, I missed it. Oh, Saskatchewan. Yes. Okay. Impreza is saying that the police there don't have respect. I don't know what's going on there. But generally, Canadian police are respected by people because, they've seen, like, people come down for Caravana. They say, oh my God, you guys are so nice, because they're used to different types of policing in the communities that they're from. Let's see here. Question from Ben. On a green light, waiting to turn left, if the light turns red while you're waiting, can you turn? If you're in the intersection, yes. If you're not in the intersection, no. So if you've entered the intersection, it's what I like to call charging the intersection. You're in there like a magazine and a gun. You've got the magazine is charged. You're waiting to drop the hammer. You're just waiting for that safe opportunity to exit it. You're actually obligated to exit once it turns red. You can't sit in the intersection. If you haven't entered the intersection, you're behind the stop line. You cannot enter once the light changes. President says, you seem like 10 times the cop most SPS are, so I wouldn't waste your time. I don't know what you mean, but I appreciate the compliment, I think. Dory, this is bringing back memories. Neon says Dory, because that was the signal for me to reintroduce myself. So since you asked, I will say that my name is Sean Shapiro, and I'm a former police officer. I talk about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff. And that's exactly what the Dory trigger used to do when Undead Neon and many others who were part of the regular cast and crew of civilian support that used to help out the stream. Thanks. I haven't seen Dory as a comment in a long time. Cold Laker says, love the TikTok retired cop. Thank you so much. Okay. Kalina says, that's a shame. What is this? That's a shame. Bad, ruin it for the good. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening. Yeah, send me a message. If I can get you one, I will certainly try. Go to trafficcop.ca. There's a forum there. Okay. Kevin James says, filter to the front of the red light. I mean, I've been rear-ended 3 times on my bike for staying in behind. So I talked about this earlier, but if you were just to move a few car lengths up, waddle up, roll up slowly, and stop, if you were ever pulled over and said, I just moved up so I don't get rear-ended, I think is totally justifiable, articulable. It makes sense. Most reasonable police officers would say, I get it. If you go to the front of the line, now you're just trying to get away with not being in traffic and get somewhere faster than everybody else. And that suddenly doesn't sell as well as just moving a couple of car lengths forward. So, yeah, your mileage may vary. Hey, look at that. It worked. Thanks for watching. It reminded me that my time is done. That's the hour. But let's just finish off with some comments. Jaden says, faded beard is best on you, Sean. Looking sharp. This is the longest I've ever had it. But now that I don't have to maintain the uniform code, I'm experimenting. I might go ZZ Top. We'll see. Ashley says, former cop, what happened? I retired. I left policing. I'm on to other things. I'm still related. I'm still doing traffic safety related stuff. Lots of stuff to come in next year. Which I think will be really cool. I'm working on a project to help police agencies across Canada with their content. Now I'm also doing consulting in traffic safety and social media, but that's a different story. Is it illegal if I drive backwards? If you drive backwards, like you're backing up on a highway, there's very specific sections of the Highway Traffic Act that give exemptions for certain reasons. But yeah, it's not specifically illegal. Sorry, it's not specifically legal. You could be charged and it could be dangerous. And there's a ton of different ways to address it. So why are you backing up? Where are you going? You just want to drive backwards to work every day and see what happens? I'd pull you over. Uh, oh, Kevin James, Greg Mar. Okay, the whole conversation here is separate. Okay. Question from Chase to close it off. If you could go back and come out of high school again, what would you do, knowing everything you know? I would have joined the service earlier. I joined the service at 25. I would have probably joined maybe at the same age, but not as I would have gone straight into policing as opposed to doing some of the other stuff, because then I probably would have been chief by now. No, I took a longer road. I did a whole bunch of other things. I was in business before, but I didn't do the policing road as soon as I should have, or when I should have. And I've always said, it made me a better cop to have all this business experience. I was a real estate agent. I was in the computer industry, and all those things made me who I am. So really, to say I'd do it differently may have had a very different outcome. Maybe I would never have become the TikTok traffic cop. And then where would we be? We wouldn't be here. And I like being here. So I should be, if I were to do it all again, I should do everything exactly the same way. That's the better answer. Have a great night. Drive safe, drive sober, park legally, because Aaron, the parking guru, will be upset if you don't. But yeah, have a wonderful time. I'm seeing that things again broke because I don't see all of the comments. But let me just have a quick scroll here, because why wouldn't I scroll through here? It's just a couple. Oh, okay. Kevin. So is it Yeshua? Jexua says, are you allowed to move a vehicle on your driveway if you're under the influence? No, anywhere you drive or operate or even sit in a motor vehicle under the influence is a criminal event. You'd be arrested. Ben says, thank you for your service. Thank you for the thank you. Undead Neon says, what time tomorrow? Tomorrow's I might be able to do another one. I want to get to the point where I do this every day, but I'm not there yet. I'm trying to balance a whole bunch of different things. But I'll tell you what, if you go to Traffic Cop or Voiceover Cop on Twitter, I'm going to try and actually schedule one where I announce it before I actually press the button to say go. So check it out there. Don Thompson says, why can't I say that? Don Thompson said that sad that I missed the live. You can actually watch the live again if you go to Voiceover Cop on YouTube. It's available. You can replay it. But I will come do this again, so not to worry. Just follow and hit the bell icon so you get notified. And I mean that on TikTok. Yeah, to get notified, you still need to do that bell thing. They became YouTubey like. Let's see here. Why are Ontario police so strict about tints and license plate covers? Because tints and license plate covers prohibit people from seeing inside the car, prohibit drivers from properly seeing outside the car, pedestrians from making nonverbal communication with the driver. It's unsafe. And of course, license plate covers make it harder to identify vehicles, which is a bad thing when we want to identify vehicles. So it's illegal. So there you go. Greg says, have a great night. Dunk waves. Have a great one, everyone. Take care.